headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz hosting this hour, and next to me, Dr. John Deloney, best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. So we are here taking your calls. It's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225.
And that's about what the advice is worth.
All free.
Free.
You may love it, you may hate it. Well,
right.
Who knows what's going to happen? And we have a lobby full of people on this Friday. And so just to remind, they're all clapping and cheering, to come visit us. Our headquarters is right outside of Nashville in Franklin, Tennessee. So come, you can have a cup of coffee, some cookies, hang out, and watch the show. So you are always welcome here. All right, we're going to go to the phones this hour to Maria in Chicago. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking my call. And I have a quick question for you guys.
Yes.
I'm already investing 15% for my retirement on my 401k through my job, but they do offer us a discount for the stocks of the company, 15% discount. So my question is, would it be smart for me to take advantage of the discount and only put like 10% for my 401k and the other 5% on their stocks since it's a discounted rate?
You know, Maria, company stocks, it's not my favorite place to invest because there's a little bit of putting all your eggs in one basket. Even though you're getting a discount, I hear that. But the idea of more diversification and spreading your money around, and so keeping some money, yes, in your 401k, and I would even what's their match? What's their match percentage in their 401k?
For our 401k, they match the first 4%, 100%, and then the next 2% is 50%.
Okay, Maria, do you have a Roth IRA?
I have it, but I'm not able to put a lot of money in there because since me and my husband, both of us are putting 15% on 401k, and then trying to put $100 extra to our mortgage, then it's not enough room to put extra money to that Roth IRA.
Yes.
I only put $20, so I know it's not a lot, but I at least put $20 every month.
Yeah, no, I hear that totally. So one piece of advice, Maria, I would give you is just to do them, like run some math and even talk to a SmartVestor Pro. If you don't have a great financial advisor, I would check one of them out. But even look to see, okay, what if you went up to the match of the 401k up to that 4%, see how much it would take of your percentage of your income to go and invest and see if you can even max out your Roth IRA and then come back to your company's 401k and put some more in if you haven't reached that 15%. So I love the idea. A Roth IRA is just one of my favorite things, John, because it grows tax-free. And if you're able not even to max it out, but to contribute even more because of that growth, it's just a wonderful thing. It's one of my favorite retirement vehicles when it comes to investing. So I would run some numbers, Maria, on your situation, and again, look to see, okay, if we just put in 4% and took up to the match of the company, see what percentage is left of your income and how much it would be to max out your Roth IRA, and then if there's any more percentages left of that 15% pie, go back to your company's 401k. But I would not, to your original question, invest in your company stock.
My mom worked at this little company when I was a kid called Enron. And they were notorious for being so generous with the greatest stock on planet Earth by selling it to their employees for cheaper. And then they built an extraordinary amount of wealth on the backs of their employees. And the people that were close to us that went to bed bajillionaires and woke up literally, Rachel, with nothing.
With nothing. So she really worked for Enron. And that's like the infamous story of the absolute worst of the worst of the worst, the historic story.
Deloitte, and then went to Enron and went back to Deloitte. So she was at both of them. But it was this... It just all went away.
Yes.
It all went, like whatever it was, the third or fourth largest company on planet Earth, it just didn't exist, right? Yep. Just like a vapor. And so I think the idea of company stocks, I get it and I appreciate them being kind. And I don't think every company is like Enron. It's just not where I'm going to trust my, I've already got enough invested in you with our, like, I'm doing work, you're giving me my paycheck. Right. I'm not going to put that much more. I'm going to spread the rest of it out.
That's great. That's great. All right. Up next, we got Jack in Grand Rapids. Hey, Jack. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. How can we help?
All right, so I have a question about the morality of my job. So I'm a
What do you do, man?
Person. I'm a car salesperson.
Okay, you don't deal drugs.
You're a murderer or something.
You're dealing drugs, something crazy.
That's not near what I was hoping you were going to say. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it's not as interesting maybe as you hope. Yeah, so obviously a huge part of my job is signing people up for car loans, which ever since listening to you guys, I don't entirely agree with. I don't think it's the right path, and I kind of feel bad for customers, but at the same time, I know it's, my duty to do that. So I've been struggling a little bit with kind of the moral responsibility of that. I know I'm not the one signing them up. I'm not the finance person, but, I know what's happening. I know what's happening to them when they go in the office, and just something that I've been dealing with. Kind of giving advice of, am I morally responsible for that? Should I be seeking some other work? Because this job has been a big blessing for my family. So just maybe seeking some guidance with that.
I think everybody I've ever met has a moment when they walk by the mirror and look in it and ask themselves, is the job they're doing or the people they're working for or the culture of their job or the time away from family that has some sort of value misalignment, and they have to ask themselves, is this okay with me? And so what I would tell you is, I've got my personal opinion. I think it's way more valuable for you to make that choice. And it sounds like you've made that choice. You just realize, I go back to people who, and again, this isn't about the vax or anti-vax, but people were told to keep your job, you will get this vaccination. And some said, okay. And some said, I'm going to forego my paycheck because I'm not doing this. Often our values cost us something. And it sounds like your values, what you feel. You don't feel good about what you're doing. And again, I've got people working who I love who are in the car industry. So that's why I'm not put it out there. But for you, you're having a harder time looking in the mirror. And so I would tell you, go with your guts, what your values are, and then know that's probably going to cost you something. And it's not something, by the way, you have to walk in on Monday and quit, right? It might be something that you say, this is not going to be what I do
the
long-term
play. Yeah. We've had many people, bankers, that have called the show and they end up doing this and like, I just can't anymore. And here's the deal too, Jack, and we say this all the time, that debt is not a sin, right? This is not a salvation issue. This is not a thing that it's not. You can have debt and, in the faith world, still love Jesus, go to heaven, right? This is not a salvation issue, but it is down to a little bit of that moral dilemma for yourself. And how do you feel? Do you feel good at the end of the day? And I think some people can hold that and walk forward, and some people can't, just out of a personal conviction.
Yeah, we call those people psychopaths, right? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I was like,
no. But yeah, that's one of those areas that's different for everybody.
They can hold it in different ways, right? Or am I a psychopath? Maybe.
I got a TikTok account. I do it every day. What am I doing?
You're a YouTuber, John.
Trust me, I know.
All right. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
The Ramsey Show. I am Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney, and we are taking your calls on life, money, relationships, career, anything and everything. We are here to have a conversation, to chat, answer your questions, and have a good old time. Right, John?
We're having a good old time.
Good old time. All right.
We're going to have a barn raising.
That's right. So call us at 888-825-5225. It's a free call anywhere in the country. All right, up next we have Stacy in Chicago. Hey, Stacy, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So I had a question that I had some advice given to me by my financial planner, and I have a lot of medical expenses, and I was told that for anything of this calendar year, if I have any unreimbursed medical expenses beyond my 10% of my AGI, I can take anything out penalty-free. And I have about I have well beyond the 10% of my AGI for medical expenses. And so I was just trying to weigh out the pros and cons on whether or not I should do that or just pay it down, because currently the expenses are on my credit card.
Okay, so how much in total are your expenses?
I have close to $33,000.
$33,000, okay. And what other debt do you have?
I have some credit card debt right now.
How much?
That's about like $12,000.
Okay.
And then I have medical expenses also on those credit cards from last year, which is about $18,000.
Is that 18 included in the 33 that you were talking about, or in addition to?
No, it's separate.
Okay. Anything else? Student loans, car loans?
I have about $16,000 left in student loans, and my car is paid off.
Okay. How much do you make a year?
I make $100,000.
Okay. Honestly, Stacy, yeah, we don't encourage.
Don't. Yeah.
Taking out, even though there's not a penalty, there's still going to be taxes. Like there's still going to be things going around in that, and so just not touching retirement is the goal. Again, mostly because we don't want you to pay taxes and penalties.
Well,
which she's saying.
And I'll say this: right now, the market has been down this calendar year. You will lock those losses in forever.
Mm-hmm.
This would be. I can't imagine a worse time to borrow against your 401, to take money out on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, because that money can grow at any point in time in the future, and since it is low, I'd be losing out on a lot.
For sure. Of especially what can be. So,
what
so
keeps
you're gonna have 70. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What keeps happening year over year with medical expenses? Is this going to be ongoing?
So, given my current situation, I am trying everything in my power now to make sure that what I am doing is covered by insurance. I think I don't foresee this lasting for another year or so currently. I mean, I'm no stranger to working hard and doing this.
Of course.
I paid down $100,000 of student loans before working 2 jobs, but currently, given my challenge and my current condition, I just really, 1 job is already enough.
What's going on medically with you?
I have Lyme disease and a bunch of co-infections. And some mold toxicity and some mold illness. So I had to move, and there's been a lot of expenses that I've had to kind of try to take care of in order to get myself into a better environment.
You've locked these expenses, some of these in, the medical expenses from last year with your credit card. Have you sat down with the hospital and tried to settle this? I mean, because there's something about saying your income is high, so they may not help. They may not work with you very much, but there's something to be said for, hey, I got $50,000. I can't. What number would they settle with you on?
Right, and that's something I'm not sure about. I've tried to call my insurance company and understand that, but
cut
they're
them
very
out.
strict.
Cut the insurance company out. I'm talking about going directly to your provider and sitting down. I had something done a few months ago, and I just asked, hey, if I write you a check, what is it? And it was a quarter of what it was of the total bill if I didn't use insurance. A quarter, 25%.
Wow.
And it's not what you're dealing with, and so it might not be it might not be so drastic, but there's something about if you owe, what did you say, $35,000?
Yeah, about 33 for this year.
Yeah, if you come in with $10,000 cash and say I can do this, can we call it good? If I give you $10,000 and call it good, and they may do that.
And Stacy, and going back to which I totally echo John for sure. And then going back to your original question, so much of this, yes, is out of your hands when it comes to the medical side of your bills, but making $100,000, which I know in Chicago doesn't go as far as somewhere else in the country, but if you even just lived off of and said like, hey, I'm going to live like I make $60,000, it could take you 2.5 years and you can clean up all of your debt, all of this. And with the student loans, and even the other credit card, which I know you said was with medical expenses as well. But, all of this, just looking at it and saying, I'm going to go scorched earth and I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to do it. Like you said, I know that the medical side that you're dealing with is going to make it more difficult, but put a goal out there, pulling money out. If this was just a mutual fund out there floating around, I would say cash it out. But when it comes to just your retirement overall, it's just not a wise thing to cash out. Stay in it. Don't jump off the roller coaster. Yeah. And map it out too, Stacey, because even in your voice, it feels you sound tired.
You know what it sounds like? We hear this sometimes, Rachel, when people call and they've got their $1,000 and they're in baby step 2. And then something breaks and they have to go back and do the $1,000 and they've sold everything. So now they're just got to grind it out.
Yeah.
And then they get up again and then something else happens. And it's just like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to go put on a credit card. It's so much easier. And we're the only ones telling people, I'll sit with you because it's hard and it's awful that this happened. But you got to get back up and you got to go again.
Yeah.
And you got to get back up and you got to go again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we just, at some point we say, you know what? You're right. You deserve it. Or here's a hack. There's not one, man. And I hate this for you. You paid off what, $85,000 in credit. I mean, in student loans
already, $100,000. Yeah. So you can do it. That's the great thing.
Yeah. But then I just in my guts know like the feeling of, we get to go do all that again.
Right. Totally. Yeah.
Here we go again. Right.
It's so hard. Stacey, thanks for the call.
Hang in there, Stacey.
All right. So when it comes to changing your life in any area of your life, so whether it's your marriage or your mental health or your money or your career, it takes being intentional and it takes having a set of tools to help you in these changes. And whether it's even losing weight or changing a career, whatever the thing is, being intentional is so, so key. So that's one reason that we created the SMART Conference, to give you a plan to help really turn up that focus, turn up that intensity, to meet your goals in every area of your life. So we are so excited that we're going to be in Dallas, Texas, Saturday, October 22nd for the SMART Conference. There's still some tickets left. It'll be about 6,000 people in an arena, and all the Ramsey personalities will be there. Myself, John, Dave Ramsey, Ken Coleman, George Camel, and we are all sharing the stage to help you.
Christina will be there.
Craig Rochelle, and Amy, Pastor Craig Rochelle, and they're going to be talking about marriage.
And there's live music. There's chaos all day. It's going to be a blast.
It is. It's a fun day. It's a long day. You're going to feel like you drink out of a water hose because there's so much information.
Hose?
Yes.
You're not out of a water hose.
It's going to be relaxing and bring you back to your childhood and the nostalgia of childhood. John, that's just why we host together.
I know. I'm so glad. I wasn't in honors classes like you clearly were.
All my AP classes in high school are really paying off.
You're going to be drinking out of a water hose, America.
Just like we used to in the olden days. It's going to be fantastic. So get your tickets at RamseySolutions.com/events to get your seats today and join us in Dallas, October 22nd.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Rachel Cruz hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney. And we're going to the phones this hour. And Rita in New York is up next. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rachel and John. How are you?
We're doing well.
Good.
Thanks for calling.
What's up, Rita?
Fantastic. Okay, my question is, should I pay off this last debt? So I've been working on my budget. I'm so proud of myself, thanks to the app that you guys have.
We're proud of you too, Rita. Well done.
I'm crunching all the numbers, and after I pay this debt, which is a consumer debt of $1,320.41, I will have left in my account about $1,600. I'll tell you, in the beginning of the year, I had about $6,000 worth of debt. It just piled on. I don't even know how I did it. I was working at a retail store, making about $17 an hour. But as of last month, I was offered a position making $95,000.
Whoa!
Wow.
Yes.
Doing what?
Rita's a gangster, dude. What are you doing?
I'm in insurance, and I want to thank you guys, too, because I used to be in insurance about 12 years ago, left that to live a little more, and I've been out of insurance about 7 years now. And I was listening to one of the shows, and I don't know what happened, but you guys were just talking about insurance, umbrellas, this and that. And I was like, is this a sign? And I reached out to a buddy who I know is still in the insurance industry. I said, hey, listen, I'm thinking about coming back, and I'm back.
Rita, that's amazing.
Okay, Rita, so tell me about this debt. Is it handsome? Is it just so lovely? Like, why do you want to hang on to it so tightly? It's got to.
You know what it is? I think it's a mental thing. And like in my heart of hearts, I know I can do it. Like, just pay it off. I did crunch all the numbers, rent, everything. I'm good. You know what? I think I answered my own question, right? Pay it off.
Rita, hey.
We're so glad we can help.
Are you the first person in your family to go down this road?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm the only one who's taking a stand on it.
That's what I mean.
Right?
That's what I mean. Okay.
Yes.
So here's I can imagine. This is just a psychological thing. You're about to cross a line that was always in your life for other people. Other people didn't owe money. Other people got to sleep all night and not worry about how their bills were going to get paid. Other people. And now you're about to step over a line that really doesn't exist, by the way, but you're going to step over a line and you're going to become the other person now. Mm-hmm. And often we get hung up right before that. That's why weight is so hard to lose because, man, those people, the skinny people just is hard, right? And we can fill in the blank. Oh, they drive those kind of cars. So you're about to cross the line, and what Rachel and I would tell you is don't just step over that line. Sprint across it, screaming and yelling the whole way. Okay? Because there is no other people. We're all in this big sinking ship together. So just run across it as fast as you can, cheering all the way. Okay? And you make $95,000, your emergency fund will be built up in, 3 months? You'll be good to go?
Yes. Yes, I already have the $1,000 in there. And I have retirement fund from my previous job. I have $130,000.
Rita,
right now.
You're trying to make this a math problem. You're free, lady.
Okay.
You're free.
You got it, Rita. Do it. Do it today. Do it today.
Done.
And then, I just cut her off. I'm so sorry, Rita. I was just going to tell her.
Rachel's the hospitable one on the show.
No. But isn't that... It is.
You're free.
I'm like, it's right there. And it's almost this intimidation of, is this real? Like, is this...
Yeah.
What is this? And I get going down to $1,600, which we say $1,000. Yeah. So you're even $600 buffered more than what we even would say, Rita.
No, I think she has her $1,000. I think when she pays it all, she's still gonna have $1,600 in her account.
With that, yes. And so, you got this, Rita, and well done on pursuing a whole new career. She's working retail, making $18 an hour, and just thinks, I could get back to insurance.
How many times do we hear that when somebody's when they cross the halfway point of their debt-free journey, they just start walking taller and demanding, like, I don't have to live like this.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they get promoted, get new jobs, making $95,000.
Start to see hope.
Rita, you did it.
Well done, Rita. We are cheering you on. Sleep well tonight, knowing that it's paid off. It's paid off. It's awesome.
So only free person in New York. That's awesome, Rita.
Oh my gosh. All right, up next we have Chad here from Nashville. Awesome. Hey, Chad, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you guys for your time today.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So we began our debt journey here about 11 weeks back. It's going phenomenal.
Awesome.
We're on track to be debt-free except for mortgage come the end of this January. And one of life's circumstances has just kind of shown up. One of the unique ones where my dad, who lives in Michigan, he's 82. And he's no longer able to safely live on his own. And a combination of the siblings that are up there who are either not willing or able to provide any more help, and he only has a $2,000 a month Social Security check that he gets. So from what I've looked into, assisted living is just beyond his means. With that check, he has basically nothing in savings. So me and my wife talked about it, and with her support, we convinced him to come and stay with us to help him.
Okay.
And thank you to my beautiful wife for that, because she's been amazing.
Well, and I'll personally thank his remarkable son too, because y'all are working hard. Y'all had a picture of what this was going to look like, and all of a sudden that picture's gone, and y'all are having to scramble to paint something new. Right? You're having to change the oil on this thing while it's driving down the road, and so good for you, man. That's hard. That's a hard choice, and I'm proud of you, man. It's hard.
Thank you. A couple things I wanted to throw at you guys and get your opinion on. There's a couple. So first, we were thinking, as far as him coming down here, contributing to the household. We were talking about, maybe just if he contributed, just for groceries. Out of what he gets, $300 for the month for groceries, and we're talking about maybe having him put $10,000 aside for his own personal emergency fund. It was kind of the ideas we were tossing around for him and talking with him about.
Is this for your motivation for this, Chad? Is it?
Yeah, what's he need an emergency fund for? In case he has to go to the hospital or something?
Yeah, general emergencies, and if for the day that we hope is still a long ways out, celebration of life, expenses.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, Chad. It's common that when our worlds blow up, that we try to solve that explosion through extra means of control. And what you're doing now is things blew up, and your dad's moving in. It wasn't in the plan, but here we are. You're disappointed, your brothers and sisters. Here we are. And now you're starting to rehearse tragedy that might be 5 or 10 or 15 years away. I would recommend get settled. I do love the idea of giving him a role to play financially in the home. That sounds counterintuitive, but
gives dignity.
Gives dignity. Yes. Hey, old man, you're paying rent. You see what I'm saying? Like he's gonna participate, even if it's a little bit, and that will give him some responsibility there. And then I think you'll have a hard conversation about recommendations and savings and things like that. I don't know, Rachel, it's hard to tell your dad what he's going to do with his money.
Right,
I know he's living
right.
under your roof. This whole thing's flip-flopped. But
Yeah, and getting his thoughts as well, Chad. Having that conversation, it's a dialogue, and to say, hey, let's do this together and figure it out, because we all want the same outcome.
Yeah.
We want to have a peaceful household, and how can we do that well? But we commend you, Chad, you and your wife both, for doing this. It's very honorable.
Get power of attorney too, by the way.
Five, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Rachel Cruz with Dr. John Deloney, taking your calls at 888-825-5225. And up next, we have John in New York.
So how are you today?
We're doing great. Thanks for giving us a call. How can we help?
All right, I have a tough one.
Okay.
I have $170,000 remaining balance on my 15-year fixed mortgage,
Okay.
2.0% rate, so it's a great rate. Financial advisor and accountant insist I should not pay it off.
As they all do.
However, I have about $170,000 in savings. The problem is I skipped the baby step, and I have no college savings for the kids.
Okay.
If I pay it off, I have no other debt. I can immediately start that. So I did skip that baby step.
What's your mortgage?
Really, pay it off.
170.
Sorry?
No, what do you pay every month in your mortgage?
Principal and interest is about $2,600.
Okay.
How old are
Not
your
including
kids?
the property tax. 11, 7, and 5.
Okay.
And household income is about $400.
Oh,
a year.
nice. Okay.
Can I tell you what I'm doing in my house?
Yes, sir.
If I have a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old, and if I was in your exact same boat, and I had $170,000 in savings, I would pay my house off before the end of the day is over. Full stop.
You know, I've always gotten I love it. I've always gotten the advice that, God willing, I can continue to work, and when they start college, I'd pay for that out of my earnings. So I never really, started anything up.
Yeah.
With the anticipation that I would hopefully pay this off.
Absolutely. Yep.
If I pay it off, though, emergency fund is gone, so I should probably wait a few months to get that up.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't cash it all out.
Oh,
Leave a little bit.
That's including your emergency fund too?
Yeah. I think so.
Don't do that.
That would.
Yeah, keep 3 months, and then but write a big check tonight. I mean, like have a level of it to be like, oh, okay, we're getting there. And yes, what you're saying with your income, with your income level, obviously depending on where your kids go to school, because they all won't be in school together at the exact same time, that you may be able to cash flow it completely just off of your income. But the question is, will you have that same level of income in 10 years?
Let me do this. Here's some back of the napkin math, okay? I'm just using my cell phone calculator here. If you take that $2,600 that you pay every month and multiply it by 12, that's $31,000 a year you're sending, not including your taxes, okay? Your child is 11. Is that what you said? Your oldest?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 7 years until they go to college. So if I just take $31,000 times 7, that's $218,000. That's $220,000 that you can have by not changing your life in any shape, form, or fashion, just continuing to pay your mortgage. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not cash flowing. That's just if you just kept making your mortgage payment and stuck it in a 0% earning checking account. You'd still be way ahead of most parents.
So you feel, do this in 2 steps, do a big chunk, build the emergency fund up, get it to 3 months, and then finish it off.
Yeah,
Yes.
otherwise you're going to write a $170,000 check and you're going to go screaming down Manhattan Boulevard tonight, so happy, and then tomorrow morning your air conditioner's going to break. And then you're not going to be happy anymore.
The fact that it's a good rate and it's 2%, and it's an attractive mortgage, so to speak, that has no bearing whether my rate's 2% or 5%.
It really doesn't. Yeah.
2%, I should.
And that's what makes us weird. This is where we're different than majority of a financial advisor or a tax pro out there, or at least ones that we don't recommend at Ramsey. But the norm out there is that they're playing a math game, John. So on the math side, could you invest that mortgage payment, or keep the mortgage and not have a low interest rate? I mean, all the math game that is played in that industry, like we have brains, like we see it and we're like, that I get what they're saying, where you could take this chunk of money and invest it and you could make more in the market versus what you're, having to pay an interest on your house, all of that. Like mathematically, there's I get it.
That could happen.
But John, like what freedom does to you and what peace does to you when you don't owe anyone anything changes the game.
You're in downtown New York?
No, suburban New Jersey.
Okay, think back to 30 months ago. Rachel and I were in downtown Manhattan when they came out of Broadway and said Broadway is closed until further notice as COVID was kicking off. We were in there in March. I think March.
Yeah, we had a big work event that we were doing, and we were all down there.
Yeah,
all the Ramsey personalities, and we were literally there. Yeah,
so
they canceled the NBA.
Go back to that moment and imagine not having a house payment. Do you give a crap what the interest rate is back then? No.
Not really.
No.
And then the idea or the age-old saying of cash is king, and holding cash and having more than your emergency fund and just sitting on it while you have the mortgage, that's a fallacy in your opinion, right? It's like cash is king, but I have debt. So
you're solving for freedom,
right.
brother.
Right.
You're solving for freedom. And when you have debt and you've got savings, all you're doing is holding the bank's money for them. It's not your money because you owe it.
Correct.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
you have cash is king, but you don't have cash. You've got their money just in your account. So I would just give it to them. Like what does Happy Gilmore say? Just send him home. Just send him home.
Just send him home.
Just send him home, man. Hey, congratulations, my brother.
Yeah,
And,
John, well done.
90 days, you're free. Free.
Appreciate it.
That's it. I know. Well done, John. You've done a fantastic job. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, and that's what's interesting about what we encourage you guys to do is, again, debt is so normal and people play the math game over and over and over and over and over. And what's not in the math game is risk. What's in the math game is not fear. Mm-hmm. What's not in the math game is sleeping at night. What's not in the math game is not owing anyone anything and having literally no one that has their name on your paycheck. I mean, there is just something to be said that can't be put in a formula. But we are, as human beings, like our soul, who we are and how we function, there's a lot there that, again, a tax pro isn't always going to just sit down and help you have those conversations.
Well, I'm always just, this is hard, man, but I always want to ask somebody when they're giving advice, do you stand to benefit from this advice, right? And that's why I appreciate calling us. We're just a neutral third party out here on the airwaves, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do in my house. Right, I'm actively working to set myself up to be in the position that John is in.
Yep.
Right, for that very reason, and my interest rate's almost identical to his. It's basically nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about the interest rate; it's about absolutely being free.
And here's the great thing too: if you want a mortgage again after you pay it off, you can always go get one.
Go,
if you really want
borrow one. If you miss it and you're like, I missed the mortgage,
really want
honey.
that mortgage payment back. We're going to go back and get one.
Your wife's going to tell you, hey, let's have a candlelit dinner. Say, I have a hard thing I need to tell you. He's going to think, what is it? She'll say, I miss the mortgage.
Just miss that mortgage.
I miss that mortgage.
I miss all that money. That $2,600 just leaving. All right. Next, we have Aaron in Knoxville. Hey, Aaron, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, we're right up against the clock. Go as quick as you can.
Okay, I got a really simple, quick question.
Love it.
I've started the EverDollar app this month for the first time, and I have showing $742 left remaining. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that.
Mail that to Ramsey Solutions. Attention, Rachel Cruz.
I'll take it, Aaron. Congratulations, Aaron. That's a good problem to have. Okay, do you have any savings right now?
I'm currently fixing to officially start baby step 1 in October. I was just playing with the app to try to learn how to use it.
I love
month.
it, Aaron. So great. So great. Did you get the app? Do you also have Financial Peace University? The lesson?
No.
Okay. I want you to hold on the line. Jenna's going to pick up, and we're going to get you a year subscription to Financial Peace University as well, because that's going to be able to go really in depth with this information. So, Aaron, that $700 is going to go towards baby step 1 until you build up $1,000. And then any extra money you have left over in the months coming with extra work, selling stuff, cutting your budget down is going to go to baby step 2. And it's going to help you start the debt snowball and paying off your debts. Great job, Aaron. I'm so excited for you. So excited for you. Go Vols.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. We are broadcasting live from the headquarters and from Pods Moving and Storage Studios. And this is where we hang out to have a conversation about your life and your money. It's a free call anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. I'm Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney, bestselling author, and Ramsey personality. And we're taking your calls on life, relationships, money, career.
All of it.
Anything and everything. So give us a call, 888-825-5225. Starting us off this hour, Sarah out of Tacoma, Washington. Hey, Sarah. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. How can we help?
So, I have two things that I have going on in my marriage.
Oh, you're lucky. I've got like 15 things going on in my marriage. You just got 2. That's awesome.
So one issue that I have is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to, I noticed that my spouse has an issue with drinking. And my second issue is our finances. We have our finances separate. And so I'm not sure what he's doing with his money, and he's not sure what I'm doing with my money. So I had suggested marriage counseling. My spouse doesn't want to do it. I had suggested counseling for him. He doesn't want to do it. So I'm like, what do I do next? I'm like, kind of.
Are you safe?
Yes.
Okay. When you say he's got a problem with alcohol, what does that mean?
Like every time I turn around, he's drinking.
Okay. There's not a lot that can be done with finances. There's not a lot of work that can be done on your marriage until he's sober.
Mm-hmm.
The person you left out of the, hey, maybe we should go to marriage counseling. Maybe you should go to marriage counseling with me. Maybe you should go to counseling. The person you left out is the only person you can actually do something about, and that's you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to counseling for my own personal issues.
Good for you.
But it's kind of tough when you have someone that's dealing with their own demons. So
Absolutely.
It's like, how am I supposed to get healthy? How am I supposed to, heal if I'm dealing with someone? I don't want to say someone. When I'm dealing with a hurting spouse, when they have their own issues.
Absolutely. This is a question millions of people ask, or forced to ask all the time. How do I get well in an unsafe environment? And what I would tell you is at some point you've got to draw some boundary lines and say, Whether that's I've got to take 30 days and go stay with a friend. I've got to step right here for a minute and get my head clear and get my relationships clear and get my health clear. Or I'm going to need to step away for 30 days on a very intentionally planned separation here while you go get well. And if you're not interested in getting well, then I understand that you're not interested in us working on this. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a point when you have to draw some pretty firm boundaries when you are married to somebody who is struggling with addiction because like you're noticing, it makes you financially insecure, which makes you at the end of the day very unsafe.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know what he owes, what he's spending it on, where it's going, if rent's going to get paid, if bills are going to get paid, if you're going to have food in the fridge. I mean, it's a very unstable way of being.
Yeah, exactly. And I tried to bring it up, and I'm like, hey,
hold on. Listen.
Listen.
You can't. And I know that feels so powerless, but you can't fix him. You know why? You're not the problem.
Yeah.
He's not doing this because of you. And that's what makes this so hard, is that you love him and you want to just snap your fingers and have it be okay.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been married, Sarah?
4 years.
4 years.
How long has he been drinking?
He's 2 years. And I think he's been battling with addiction, and I don't think he's ever got the proper help.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he has either. Yeah. At the end of the day, you can control your thoughts and your actions and how much you love him. And then at some point, you've got to draw boundaries that make sure you're safe and that you can have peace. And those are very, very complicated, hard conversations. I'm glad you have a relationship with a professional counselor.
And Sarah,
and that's I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go. You're good.
Yeah, and that's something I'm talking about in counseling, where, how to draw boundaries and not be so, passive. How to say, hey, if you continue to do this, then I have to do this, that, and the third.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm learning in counseling.
And that's a new muscle to build, Sarah. So give yourself some grace in that,
yeah, you're
right?
Practicing
if you're,
this. It's a totally new thing.
If this is a new way of looking at life in a new lens, and even a new way to communicate and say out loud, that's scary, right? If there's even if there's a level of intimidation, you don't want to hurt him. I mean, there's so much.
And if you've been a peacekeeper your whole life, when you're growing up, if it was your job to make sure not to say the wrong thing because mom was going to fly off the handle and dad would get mad. It's I don't like conflict at all. That's right.
I really don't.
That's right.
Because it's I don't like being in situations like that, because I know I'll get super angry. And so that's something I'm learning. Also, too, is how to control my anger and get my point across.
So. And if you've been told your whole life, how about you just shut up and you make sure that everybody else is okay first, that what you need and what you want and what you feel just gets compressed pushed and pushed, and eventually that stuff comes out in rage, right? Comes out in rage. Yeah. And so here's the deal. You are, like we tell people who are on baby step 1 when they're just trying to get that $1,000 and they've been grinding at it for 2 months and they're trying. Yeah. You're on the right path. It's just going to be hard, and because you're doing something your body has never done before, and it's going to be tough.
Exactly.
But you got this, Sarah.
Yeah.
And you deserve that, right? There's to have that peace. And not to go super tactical as we end this segment, but you mentioned about the separate accounts, and we come on the show day in and day out telling married couples, joint accounts, except when there's issues. If there's a divorce looming, if there's a separation, if there's an addiction,
rampant addiction,
we say that's a time to keep them separate. So hear me say that loud and clear, that I would not combine accounts with him. With an addict, because it's not going to help the situation. You guys need to heal your marriage first, and then out of that comes combining your accounts and working together with your money. But the money is a totally side subject at this point. Healing and getting boundaries for you, Sarah, is the number one goal. So thank you so much for calling. I hope that helps.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. We are taking your calls this hour at 888-825-5225. Coming up next, great name coming up next, Boone.
And of course, he's a Texan.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Boone from Texas. What's up, man?
Welcome to the show.
Howdy. How are you guys doing?
Oh, that's what I expected. That is everything I wanted. Thank you, Boone.
Thank you, Boone.
You're a wonderful human being.
What's up, man?
I appreciate.
You're on the right side of DFW too. What's up?
Yes, I am. So, I am the only income provider for my household. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. We have a 10-month-old daughter, and I've been given the opportunity to basically quit my current job, which is for a very big corporation, as a W-2 employee, to go work for a mom and pop shop kind of in the same trade, same job title, with potentially making a lot more money, but as a 1099 worker, as a self-employed contractor with no benefits. So I'm kind of part of me wants to do it, but also I don't want to, in a sense, put my family in jeopardy if it doesn't pan out.
Are you a lawyer?
No.
Okay.
What do you do?
You said no.
I'm a PDR technician, but it's a fancy way of saying I fix dents for a living or hail damage.
Okay. Yep. So what do you make now in your corporate job? And then if you were to run just some rough numbers, what would you make if you went into a smaller business kind of on your own as a 1099?
So my job is 100% commission based. This year I'm expecting to make between 90 and 100,000. And if I were to switch over to the mom and pop shop, and this is just off their word, I kind of just met them within the recent months. They seem like good people. But they say I could easily clear 100,000 as a 1099. But it's just off their word,
So you're making similar money, and the other job you have benefits, and then this one, you won't.
The other one is as a W-2 employee, you have a different tax. You have different taxes. 1099, you got to pay all of your taxes. You pay 30% against 15%.
Yeah, but idea is I would be making possibly a lot more money because it is based off weather, because I'd be doing mainly just hail insurance jobs.
There's no hail in Texas. Just kidding. That was awesome. That was a good joke right there.
So 100,000, sorry, with the mom and pop shop, that's the floor is kind of what they're saying. And you're going to be able to make way more than that, because I just heard you say 100,000.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
easily clear it and then up.
Yeah.
Man, here's what doesn't sit well with me.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the illusion of safety. You're quote unquote safe in this job or safe in that job. People say I make less money for the big corporation, but it's a safer job. And I always go back to the story we told in another hour where my mom worked for Enron. I just don't buy it, right? But if you told me this mom and pop was a family friend of yours and you'd known him for a long time, and like you had seen the numbers and this is legit, that's one thing. To just tag on to somebody like, no, you're going to make 100 easy. Man, that makes me real uneasy to put my wife and 10-year-old baby girl on that train. Like, I would be, if I'm you, I would sit down and say, I need to see your books. I want to see what y'all have reported over the last couple of years. I want to see what the business is. Because I can see them just salivating over a guy like you who is out there just getting after it for a corporation making $100,000.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dig in more,
something's
Boone.
not right.
Dig in more and then run all the math out and say, okay, worst case scenario, I'm going to make 110 with the mom and pop, but then run out your taxes, run out your benefits of insurance, run out everything, and then see how you end up versus 90 to 100 in the corporate job. With taxes taken out, right? Run 2 formulas and then say, okay, here's what I have to make for this move to be worth it. Right. I have to make 130.
Yes.
Or whatever it may be. So run those numbers, and maybe it's not right now, Boone. I mean, that's okay. Like, you have a 10-month-old at home, you have a great job, and unless you just hate it and it's a toxic environment and you're like, I just want out and change, that's one thing. But if you're okay with it and you're enjoying it, the other numbers just have to be a big deal for me to make that big of a shift right now in your life.
You said something important. I just want to, before we go to the next call, Rachel, 2 important things. 1, do the real math numbers.
Yeah.
Too many people, like, they don't want to leave their job, so they kind of like, well, it's going to cost $1 million to buy a new house. No, it's not. Or they are desperate to leave their job, and they're like, no, we'll make it work, and you can't make it. You can't just imagine math, right? That's important. Number 1, and then number 2 is sit down with the person that you're about to hitch your wagon to. Like, Dave and I had lots and lots of meetings both ways, right? Him saying, am I going to let this guy speak on behalf of my family's name? And me saying, am I going to quit my dream job and everything I know am I going to attach myself to this dude's last name, right?
Right.
And so do your due diligence both ways and make sure you feel comfortable in your soul that this is the right move.
Yeah, that's great. All right, up next we have Ethan in Boise. Hey, Ethan, welcome to the show.
Hello. Me and my fiance are 22 with 2 kids. We have $34,000 in debt. We have a wedding to save for in August. That's about $10,000. We met $50K. And with this new job opportunity, if I go gazelle with overtime, I'll be able to bring in another $3,000 a month. With the debt, $30,000 is in a car, and my question is, do I sell the car now and get a small loan to get a used car, or do I sell it privately, get a little bit more for it, and then save up, or save up and sell it later?
So out of your $34,000 of debt, 30 of it is a car?
Yes.
How much do you think you could get for it?
Kelly Blue Book said today, privately 37 to 39, and then the instant cash offer was 30.
Oh, Ethan, I got a great plan for you, Ethan. Sell that car.
Okay, I need to hear it.
Go
please.
drive. Okay, sell the car. Go drive a $4,000 to $5,000 beater. Your fiance is embarrassed to be with you kind of car.
You're embarrassed. You feel ashamed.
Terrible car, Ethan. Terrible car.
Even your little kids are like, are you serious, Dad?
Have your wedding in August. Get married. You guys together, combine those finances, save up between now and then for the wedding, and wait for August, like a year from now?
Yeah, yes.
Sell the car today, go tomorrow and get married. You guys have 2 kids together.
Why are you waiting
Don't
till
wait
August?
a year.
Go get married, dude.
Go get married.
Because we want to
have a party.
Have the wedding and
have
stuff.
a party.
Have a party later. Have a party later.
Party.
You guys
Do it.
are
I'm all about
married. You have
parties.
kids. You're living together. You are married. Go get the certificate. You do it, Ethan. Seriously. You don't wait on a wedding to solidify your relationship. That is a way bigger deal than the wedding. So you guys can have it in August. You're going to have a big old party, and it's going to be amazing and wonderful.
And paid for in cash.
Paid for in cash. You're going to get married before that, though. And then you guys have $4,000 left of debt after that $30,000 car. You guys can pay that off real soon. You're going to be in a great
sell it for
position.
$37,500 and pay your debt off. You'll have $3,500 in your bank account.
Well, he's got to buy a car.
That's true. My bad. Sell it for $40,000. Somebody will buy it for $40,000.
When do you think Ethan should get married?
Yesterday.
Do it soon, Ethan.
Do it for the weekend. Surprise your wife. Okay. Women love to be surprised with weddings. Just kidding. Don't do that. It's terrible advice. It's the worst advice I've ever get on the show. Do not do that. Whatever you do.
No, but for real though, I think there's a benefit for you guys as a couple to be in it, to solidify it. There is a level of commitment there that you guys need together, and then you're gonna knock all this out, and it's gonna be a forever memory, and have a big party in August if you want, or sooner.
Right.
And live your life with your 2 kids, Ethan. You guys are killing it.
Sell the car, my brother.
Build wealth, change your legacy, Ethan. You got this.
Thank you.
I say it all the time. If you're a business owner and you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And when markets are shifting, it's even more important. You've got to know where you stand so you make your next move the right move. And you don't have to be in the dark here. Over 31,000 businesses, including my team at Ramsey, know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and inventory so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Having everything in one place has saved my team hours each week since we made the switch to NetSuite. NetSuite is a game changer. So head on over to netsuite.com/Ramsey to get a product tour today. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, taking your calls anywhere in the country at 888-825-5225. It's a free call. Talk about your life, your money, your career, your relationships, anything and everything. I'm Rachel Cruz with Dr. John Deloney, and going to the phones to Will in Salt Lake City. Hey, Will, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having and taking my call, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. How can we help?
So currently in my situation, I'm a school teacher currently, and the finances in our area, just because our rent is going up higher and higher every month, I'll be, from what I've been told, I'll start paying around $1,800 a month by February.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a killer, especially for our pay in this area. And so I'm looking to move outside of the area and look at other opportunities. I've already reached out to some people in other districts that I know in other areas, and the pay is higher and the rent is about $1,000 cheaper.
Sounds like a good win, man.
Yeah, especially for where it is. Right now, the tentative offer will be in Soldotna, Alaska.
You said other districts. I thought you meant in your neighborhood.
No, absolutely not.
Are you teaching at Oates Military Academy? What are you doing there in Alaska? Same thing.
So I'd be teaching. Teaching still. And then I'm also familiar with this area because I go up there almost every year for fishing every summer.
Cool.
And you have a family, Will?
No, I do not. I'm single. I just have a dog.
Oh,
dude, get it, man.
Well, that's fun.
I'm actually jealous. What can we help you with?
I'm just trying to get an idea of financially what you guys think would be realistic in terms of going from here to moving up there.
$1 million.
I am going to.
I'm just kidding.
I am looking at finishing up. Yeah, it's all good now. I'm looking at finishing up the school year here because I just don't think it's the right thing to leave in the middle of a semester.
Good for you.
With the students I have. So I want to finish up the school year and then leave probably near mid-June. The only things I'm looking at taking is what I can fit in the back of a pickup pretty much.
Well, there you go.
I mean, then it sounds like all you need is gas money, huh? And deposit money on a new place?
Realistically, the nice part, too, is I'll be paid over the summer still for my previous job because my contract will end in August.
Excellent.
But the only other part is that the weirdest part, I guess, is I am switching out vehicles because in that area, I am likely going to need a truck more or less in that area. And I currently have a Camry. I am making payments on it monthly because I'm on a loan plan. I'm paying about $520 a month. I've already talked to lenders. It's going to be way less than that. It's going to be closer to $290 once I switch to the other vehicle and get up there.
Why would you postpone switching vehicles?
Right now, the gas mileage for the vehicle is great.
But is it worth $250 a month in payment? You can't be saving that much money on gas.
Yeah, I mean, I make an extra $1,000 with a side job that I use my vehicle for currently.
Okay.
And a truck for my side job just wouldn't be realistic.
What other debt? Okay, so how much do you have left on the car?
There's about 20 on it.
Okay. What other debt do you have?
Once I get it, that's it. My parents. Just my parents and I were fortunate enough I worked 80 hours a week in college, so I paid off everything.
Awesome. Good for you. And how much do you make a year teaching? Like how much will you have for the rest of the year?
Currently 56. Okay. Once I move up there, it will be 62, 63.
Okay.
How much cash do you have in the bank right now?
Just very minimum. I think it's about $1,000. I've just been trying to attack that car, and so that's why I'm kind of holding off on that to try to get enough money to move up.
Okay. If I'm you, Will, I mean, I would I wonder if you just Kelly Blue booked it. I'm just curious of what you could get because my goal for you when you move to Alaska is that you have no payments and you have a good emergency fund, of maybe 2 months worth of expenses just because of the catch-all of moving. I mean, when you enter into any new season, whether you're leaving college and starting a job, weddings, kids, moving, I mean, all of these, they just bring more expenses than usually we expect. So to have any level of buffer is going to be really, really important. So I would be curious, what you could get for it if you Kelly Blue booked this, got a cheap car, basically had no payments and just saved everything like crazy between now and Alaska. Once you get to Alaska, you have some money saved and maybe even using some of that money to buy a car and to buy your truck in cash. After you sell the junky car that you may get here in the next few months, putting some money together and get maybe a crappy truck in Alaska if you need to, and then you can move up from there. But cash flowing all of this as soon as possible would be my goal, just because of this big transition coming up. I mean, I would really, really focus on that. So that's what I would do, Will, if I woke up in your shoes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think it's worth about $27,000 currently.
Oh, wow. Okay, you know what? I mean, I would, Will.
And what do you owe on it?
20.
20.
Bro, I would sell that.
Yeah, get a $7,000.
Before the weekend is over.
Get a $7,000-$8,000 car, and then just start saving some cash to use for your truck when you get to Alaska and an emergency fund.
Absolutely, man.
For both of it. So thanks for the call, Will, and excited for you on this journey because it sounds like you got baby step 1 covered, that $1,000, like you said, and you're starting to pay off the debt.
If you sell this thing, buy a $5,000 car,
and you save the car payment of $520 a month
every month, you've launched through baby step 2, and you're well into baby step 3.
Yeah, I mean, you could really catapult. That's what's so fascinating, John, about this stuff is like it's these moves.
It's a slingshot. Yeah,
it's these little moves, right? Yep. That can just get you there. And there's a lot of people. This is not to like shame you, Will, but just as an example, that are driving, a family and they got 2 crappy cars. They're not worth anything to sell. They're paid off, but they're working through their credit card debt and their student loans. And they just wish they could have this like kind of magic pool of like, oh my gosh, I could like make this one move and then it's all gone.
That's right.
And it's all gone. That would be amazing. So I think you're just in an incredible position to really catapult you forward in the baby steps. So thanks so much for the call. All right, Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promo codes they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Ryan in North Carolina. Ryan writes, I have a 14-year-old daughter who has a large sum of money from a settlement because of a school bus accident that occurred when she was 10. This money is currently held in an in an account in her name that will all be given to her when she turns 18, and my wife and I cannot do anything out of it without a judge's order until she turns 18. My question is, how can we best help her to prepare to invest it when that time comes? She has more than enough to pay for college, and we want to make sure she uses it responsibly.
It's a great question. I'm sorry for the accident, though.
So I love this question, and here's why. As a parent, it's so easy for me to parent by, I have something you don't have. I've got food, you have to do what I say. Or I've got bigger muscles than you, you have to do what I say. And all the literature tells me that's a terrible way to enter into a lifelong relationship with your kid, and most importantly, teach them to become good adults. And there's moments when you have to step in that gap. But this parent is facing the other side of it, which is, my daughter's about to have a whole bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
And so my influence over her is 4 years and counting. And what I would tell you, Ryan, is you double, triple, quadruple down on a couple of things. One, relationship. You can't lead this young woman by, I've got something you can't lead like that.
Yep.
It's got to be, hey, let's sit and talk about this, or let's have a regular scheduled time together so we can develop relationships so that 4 years from now when she asks you a hard question, you've built a well of trust that she trusts you.
Yep.
The second thing is she's watching every move you make with your money. And so the better you are with your money, the more likely she is to follow into that same
and
set of plans.
talk about it. I would make it as normal as possible. So it's not like when she's 18, it's like, here's $30,000. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That it's so normal that it's like, oh yeah, that's been there. I know.
That's the money
that
coming.
there's no shock
and there's
factor
already a plan for it.
Yes, that you talk about it. And the more normal it is, the more she understands why behind it. There's a level of maturity there that she hopefully will make the right decisions. But ultimately, too, when she turns 18, she's 18, right?
She's off to see the wizard, yeah. And my hope is you've got a relationship that she will ask you to come along.
To The Ramsey Show. I'm Rachel Cruz with Dr. John Deloney, hosting this hour and taking your calls. Up next, we have Bruce in Boston. Hey, Bruce, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Well, I'm in kind of a mess. So my wife and I have been married for 20 years. Back in 2010, we were totally debt-free, everything.
Hey, talk into the phone, man.
And then, yep, talking on the phone. And
there you go.
And right after that, we bought 2 brand new vehicles. And from that point forward, we have been disconnected, not able to get on the same page on doing a monthly budget. Fast forward to now, she got a new job about a year ago, and the new job has her using her credit card, our credit card, to make purchases for the company. The company pays for those purchases, but I think that the company should be get their own credit card and they make their own purchases, not us.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
So what's your question?
So how do I get her to understand that the company should be purchasing their own materials?
I think it's a bigger question than that.
Okay
yeah, so you can't come at the tail end of I mean, you guys getting off kilter buying 2 new cars back in 2010, that's not the reason you can't have a budget. There's something beneath the thing that you're talking about.
Yep, I would agree with that.
What is it?
I would say part of it is budget, not wanting to do a budget.
Nope. What's beneath? No. That's not it. What's beneath that?
Why does she not want to?
I think she's afraid of money commitment. She thinks she's not going to have any money to spend, even though we do have plenty of money to spend.
Why do you think she feels that way?
She's not money controlling. I'm not money controlling. I just like to do a budget. I don't spend a whole lot, just on what's needed.
Are you a safe person to anchor to?
Probably not. I'm not the most communicative.
Yeah. And so you see how over 15 years or 12 years, a dance emerges where you're hard to talk to, you're hard to connect with, so she has to create a world that she can exist in. And in that world, the only joy she's got is buying crap. And the only safety she has is financial security. I've got the ability to get whatever I need whenever I need it. And you feel like the rug keeps getting pulled out from under you, and it's frustrating, and you don't know how or don't want to say anything. And then this just dance starts, and then you end up further and further and further apart. And now she's in a situation that I think is asinine. It's insane that a company is asking an employee to put things on their personal credit card. That's just dumb. It's just dumb. But y'all, you don't have the tools, you don't have the relational equity to have this conversation.
I would agree.
And now it sounds like a personal attack on her. She's saying, "Oh, you hate my job," which is an identity thing. You see what I'm saying? You having this, and you're right. You're actually right. I usually don't like to say that in a marriage conversation. You're right, and that's not the point right now.
Right.
The point is she can't hear you, and you can't hear her. Are y'all done?
Well, we've been battling, I would say, for the last 15 years, and I would say we are not done because we still love each other, and we've gone to counselors a couple of times, and since COVID, then they went to remote, and that didn't work for us, and for the last 2 years, we have not seen anybody.
Why?
Because we couldn't do the whole remote thing. It was in person, worked for us better. We haven't gone back to anybody since.
That's what I'm asking you.
It's been a while.
That's what I'm asking you is, like, if I need antibiotics and there's a flood and I can't get to Walgreens to go get them, the moment the water recedes, I'm going to be banging on that door to go get what I need to be healthy and well.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot, John.
Absolutely.
Because you've done this in another call at previous shows, and I was like, I feel like this could be Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
You've painted a picture before of a husband going out to dinner with his wife, holding her hands, looking across the table, and just speaking to her and saying out loud the truth of what they both know, and him admitting, baby, I'm not an easy person to talk to. Mm-hmm. Here's the situation that I know I've created, and start saying out loud the things that you guys know. And I feel like a wife hearing her husband take responsibility and at least acknowledging what's going on is a really beautiful thing. Do you remember doing that? I don't even know if you remember.
I do it all the time.
Well, say it to him, because I'm like, that's a great picture, because it gives, like you always say, paint the picture. This picture of a husband and wife sitting across from each other, and they're actually being a helpful conversation, but it starts with responsibility.
That's right. So what Rachel's getting to is this. At the end of the day, you can't make your wife do anything. It's frustrating. She's going to have to choose to either see the light about how much more peaceful her life can be with financial security, or, especially in the beginning, choose to meet her husband's needs because she loves him more than she loves feeling warm and fuzzy at night for a season. Okay? So all you can deal with is your thoughts and your actions. And so this whole healing begins with you going to dinner, or you taking her out to breakfast one morning and having already written this stuff out. And you hold her hand and you look across the table at her and say, not, we need to, or you need to. No, I have screwed this up for 15 years. And that's you being husband. Yep, that's extreme ownership. It's you taking a knee and saying, all I can own up to is what I've contributed to this. And then here's the important part. After you take ownership, here's the scary, vulnerable part for you. That part's actually easy. I screwed this up. I'm sorry. Here's the hard part. You saying, here's what I really need. Here's what I need. And you'll feel less than, you'll feel small, you'll feel not like the Boston man that you think you are. But I'll tell you, the time when my marriage was on the rocks, brother, and I sat down, and one of the things I told my wife is, I said, I'm ashamed to even say this out loud. I'm a 6'2" Texas male. But I need you to say you're proud of me, because I'm working as hard as I can for one thing, and that's to make you proud. And I just want you to say that I'm doing a good job. I just needed to hear that. And it was embarrassing to say, and it was a moment of catharsis for me to say it out loud. And my wife said, man, it would have been awesome to know 15 years ago, and now she doesn't miss a beat. And I wish I didn't need that, dude. I wish I was so cool. I did. I just wanted my wife to think, because I really tried to impress her. And I wanted to be enough for her. And so it's you mining you, going way down in the depths and saying, what do I need? I feel scared and terrified and unsafe with how much money we owe. I'm terrified. It would mean the world to me if you help me feel more safe by doing a budget with me. That's totally different than you need to get your butt on a Ramsey plan. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, that's totally me.
Okay, yeah. Don't do that, because you know what? I'm not talking to you either, man. And I'm going to go.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work. So this is going to take some time for you to write down your needs, to be honest with yourself. Here's what I need. Because it starts out with, I need more sex. What I really need is more undivided attention from you. I need your attention. I miss you. I need intimacy. I need us to just be like, hang out. All right. So it starts in these big announcements. I need us to get out of debt. I'm terrified at how fragile our economic situation is in our home. You see, there's a difference there, man, and I want you to get to those needs and write them down and take her out and have that conversation. Stay on the line. I'm going to send you the Questions for Humans cards for couples, and it'll give you all some things to talk about as you're having these hard conversations, and it'll give you some tools to practice having conversations again.
That's great. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for calling us. Hope all well for you and your wife. All right, thanks to James, Ben, Zach, Andrew, Austin, Jenna in the booth. The lady back there. Yes. We're the only two in the show. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, America, for listening. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studio, it's The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am Ramsey personality Rachel Cruz, hosting this hour with Dr. John Deloney, best-selling author, Ramsey personality, and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. Your name's kind of a tongue twister. It's a little tough there for a second.
You're talking so slow.
Was I?
Yes, you were.
Did I? I just felt like a good cadence. They're saying no in the booth.
No.
All right, well, give us a call.
Maybe my brain is working slower.
Give us a call at 888-825-8255.
That's what I'm talking about.
888-825-5225. All right, first up this hour, we have Luke in Denver. Hey, Luke, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
I got a multiple two-part question. I co-own a house with two high school buddies of mine, and I recently decided I wanted to leave for a couple of reasons. One is I'm not really feeling comfortable in the partnership anymore. I feel like they're taking advantage of the property, and I'm feeling a bit taken advantage of. And the other is I would love to use the money for a new house for my wife and son. So I've asked to be bought out, and they're kind of refusing to, and they're refusing to sell as well.
What is the did y'all open an LLC or just somebody's?
Yes, yeah, we have it.
Okay,
we have an LLC.
Why don't they want you to buy out?
I think they're a bit nervous to get a loan right now with the interest rates. But I feel like, to me, I'm asking a fair price. We got the house appraised. It came in at $800. We owe $440 on it. So I'm asking a third of the equity, which is $120, and they're offering me $80. So I guess my question is, like, is that price fair to ask? Are there any other fees I should consider? Or
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay. Is this your first deal that you tried to make? Like, you and your buddies had an idea, like, let's do this, and is this your first one of these?
It was. Yeah, it was a handshake deal.
Yeah. Did you learn your lesson, Luke?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And for everyone listening who's like, ooh, the real estate game, I can get in, and me and two friends, yeah, we're going to get this house, and it's going to be awesome. Luke, tell everyone why they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, they're still my friends, I like to think, but it's definitely changed everything.
Changes the relationship.
Hey, and the way you said it, I want people to hear. I want to get out of this thing so that I can buy my wife and kid a home. Talk about putting the cart before the horse, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to upgrade, help just be there for my family. So.
Totally. Sorry, we're not trying to just dig you in the ground, Luke, but
we get this so often.
It's the reality, and it's why we always say do not go into a deal, especially with debt, with friends and family, because now you're stuck. I mean, like, what do we think is a fair price? Like, we could say that,
yeah,
Luke,
I don't know. Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, they have to be the ones to decide, right? I mean, it's not split three ways. You don't legally get to leave until you guys all decide on something. And so
if I'm you offered 120, they counter offered 80. Take the math off the table and what you think fair market value is, and this, everyone's coming up with their own numbers. Your goal now is you just want to get out with some dignity. So say, let's just settle at 100 and let's shake hands and let's be done with this thing.
Yep.
And if they say no, forget you. You can, it's been a few years since I sat with a real estate attorney, but you can go have a judge dissolve the LLC and force the sale and then split it that way. And that's a nuclear option. Okay. They can't just hold you hostage. I think, that would be for you to talk to a lawyer, though. All right. I'm not in a position to give you legal advice, but my understanding is, if I remember correctly, you can ask a judge to dissolve it. All that to say is, dude, if they're going to offer you 80 and at the end of the day, it's on equity, it's imaginary money, right? It doesn't truly exist. You haven't lost anything. Take your 80 grand and walk away. Okay.
Cool.
And I know it's frustrating. You took it on the chin. It's going to be, Dave calls it stupid tax. I wouldn't call it that. I would just say you learned your lesson, man. It cost you some money. And the next time you're not going to make the same mistake. Okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit of loss there versus what you were saying with the equity. But just to get out of the deal, Luke, honestly, you'll sleep better at night.
Yep.
And hopefully it doesn't ruin the friendship either, right?
Well, but let's say this, though. If his friends are trying to rip him off or they're mad at him or whatever.
Friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know. I just like having a bunch of friends. So
I do too. I do too.
But it's true. Yeah. I mean, but I wonder what their reasoning is. Like, what's the thing
like you said, you were in this for a decade, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing everything we always did.
You're losing your work. I mean, it's just it's messy.
Just gets messy
all the way
and
around.
then you get married, you have a kid. All of a sudden, your priorities change.
Life goes on.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's right.
Oh, all of it. Okay. Up next, we have Andrea in Waco, Texas. Hey, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. How can we help?
Okay, so me and my husband, we've been dealing with this decision for a while now, probably about 2 years now. So I'm a nurse, and 2 years ago, 2020, I got a RN instructor's position. And the schedule's great for the kids, of course, because it's a teaching position, but the pay is pretty low, like to the point where we have been having to work extra shifts, like part-time, just to make ends meet, not able to save. A opportunity came up for me to travel starting in the spring. And with that, I will have an increase, I would say like $4,000 to $5,000 more a month for our finances, but it'll also take away from, the good schedule.
Yeah.
We have little kids.
Yeah.
And then also, I think at one point if I stayed in like the RN instructor's position over time, I think it's kind of better with the 401k and
in the position you're in now.
College. Yeah, in the position I'm in now with college, like the kids' college will be paid for if I was to stay. So long term, it's a good decision to stay, but then at the same time,
short term, it's tough.
Going to travel nursing, it'd be.
And travel nursing is no joke. I mean,
yeah.
And if you have little kids at home, that's a lifestyle shift.
Yeah, it changes your whole life from the inside out. But you also are doing a good job. I mean, I applaud you recognizing reality. We can't continue to burn the candle at both ends. You can do that for a short time when you're trying to pay off debt or trying to save up for a house or something.
But just to live.
You can't do that just to live, right? So it sounds to me like, hold on, hang on to the line here because I want to dig into this a little bit more. So hang on to the line. We're going to put you on hold, and then we will holler back at you after the break, Andrea.
To the Ramsey Show. We held a caller over from last segment, Andrea from Waco. She is a nurse, and between her and her husband's job, they're having to make extra shifts just to make ends meet. And then she got an opportunity to do travel nursing, which she'll make significantly more money, but it's also kind of a change in lifestyle, and they have little kids, so there's big question marks. Did I cover everything, Andrea, correctly?
Yes, and I want to be clear, too, with travel, like the specific travel that I'm thinking of, it's more so local travel, so it's like 2 hours away from home. We won't be going, like, far, like, flights, things like that, going out of the state.
Would the kids and your husband, would they go with you?
No, I would just drive back and forth.
Okay.
And try to do like 2 hours or less from home.
Okay. When I heard travel nurse, sorry, I didn't mean to.
All over the country, yeah.
Jump. I was just thinking, yeah, because they sometimes will just send you somewhere for 3 months, and then you go somewhere else, and then it's just kind of, it's everywhere. But if it's close by that you can travel, and get there in a day, that within a 9 to 5 situation, then that could be possibly a different situation. Okay, so what's your question for me and John?
I guess it's more so because of the change. I know they're precious when they're younger, and I know it's good to have that schedule, but also at the same time, I think it's a good idea to also get out of debt. And another thing, too, is with travel nursing, it is not a consistency with it at one point. There's always a need, but it's not like a constant this amount every single month kind of thing. So I just want to make sure that it's the right decision going forward. Yeah,
for sure. Okay. So how much debt do you guys have?
Total with everything about 90.
90. Okay. That does not include the mortgage, right?
Not include the mortgage or any education.
Okay. So what do you mean not any education?
Not any like loans, college student loans.
Oh, how much are your student loans?
Oh, gosh. Another probably 90.
Okay, so 180 total in consumer debt.
Yeah.
Andrea, you have to include that in your debt. You can't pretend it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Okay.
I used to do the same thing.
How much are you guys making now, a year combined?
A year combined, we make about, I'm looking at $110,000.
Okay, and how much would you make if you took travel nursing a year?
I'll make 110 by myself, plus my husband makes 45.
Okay.
So
yeah, you're at 155. Okay.
What does your husband do?
He's a police officer.
Okay.
Man, I mean, if you did this, Andrea, for 2 years, here's where my mind went. Okay, because I'm a mom with 3 little kids, and my work, I have to have travel too, because we travel for events and all of that. Obviously, I know yours will be just a few hours away from home and all of that, but it still will be grueling, right? You have a 4-hour commute possibly on some days. I mean, it's just going to be longer days potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if I'm in your position, I'm like, okay, I know in 2 years of doing this, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be fun. But I also am going to be able to pay off all of our debt, including the student loans. And we're going to be able to pay it all off if I do this for 2 years. Like having an end point. Do you know what I'm saying? Like mapping it out for you guys to say, and then if your husband's able to pick up maybe an extra job, at nights, if you're home and you guys, I mean, you're
working baseball games or working concerts and things like that.
Yeah, and you could be ships passing in the night, but only for a period of time, okay? Because if you do this over a long period of time, your kids aren't gonna know who you are. You're gonna lose your family. Your marriage is gonna be a disaster. You can't live like that forever. But for a period of time, you guys can do a lot, and you have a lot of debt, $180,000. So to be able to knock that out, man, as quickly as possible, like it.
And here's the other side of it.
It's so possible.
You've got a job as an instructor, which helps. So you're in Waco there. So let's just pretend it's Baylor. You have an opportunity. Part of your package comes with student tuition discount, right? Or if you're there for a long, long time, it comes with after a certain number of years, that thing, which is common across many colleges. I have several close buddies who were police officers, who actually were veterans, and they were police officers, and then they went and worked at a university right as their kids were heading into college. And their kids went to school either free or on a significant discount, just as police officers. You could go in as a staff nurse in 15 years when your kids are that old and get the right. So there's a lot of avenues into the higher education environment to get jobs between you and your husband, and that would end up with getting a similar or same benefit. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah.
So I would not. I like what Rachel has to say. I really think a Sprint. You owe $180,000. Let me say this another way. You're going to be infinitely more present with your kids if you don't owe anybody any money. If your body's not constantly banging on the back of your skull, letting you know that you're not safe.
Got it.
Is that fair?
Yes.
How old are those little ones?
1, 4, and 6.
1, 4, and 6. Whew. Yeah. A couple of busy years will pay exponential dividends down the road.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
You didn't want us to say that, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And Andrea, I mean, or maybe another option is look to see, can you switch, maybe it's not travel nursing, but is there another position somewhere that needs a nurse and you're going to make more than what you're making now? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, look at options. I feel like whenever we get stuck in this tunnel,
if there's ever a this or a that.
Yes, this or that. There's always option 3 and 4, and you guys get creative together. And again, I'm so big. John says it all the time, but facts are your friends. Put numbers on paper and look. Because, too, this fear, this idea, it's just in your head and it just looms. But when you actually look at numbers and you map things out and you can move things, you feel like you have control again. Where you're like, okay, well, if we do this, if we pull this lever, we'll be out of debt in 3 years. If we pull these 2 levers, we could be out of debt in 22 months. Like you can start to kind of play around and actually have a game plan, and you and your husband do it together. And remember, it's not going to be forever. It's not going to be forever. It's going to be for a short period of time, but that intensity and attacking it, that's what's going to show you progress. So our careers, they're a big deal, John. I mean, they're a big part of our lives and who we are. And our careers here at Ramsey Solutions, we have a building full of almost 1,000 people, and we talk a lot about the mission that we're on here at Ramsey Solutions of trying to change America's toxic money culture. And it makes us mad when we see people get in debt. It makes us mad when you don't have options because of what you've chosen in your past and now you're tied up financially. We get mad when we watch, kids sign away their future to student loans. And so for us here at Ramsey Solutions, it's not just a job. It really is a mission to change lives. So if that sounds like a passion that you share, you've got to check out all the exciting roles that we have at Ramsey Solutions that we are looking to fill ASAP. And there's never been a time better than to do work that you love. So we're looking for developers, UX designers, and writers to help us build digital products that actually change people's lives. So to see what it's like to do work that matters with us before, check out our Instagram and Facebook by searching Ramsey Careers and apply for your dream job here at RamseySolutions.com/careers. That's RamseySolutions.com/careers.
And one important thing, if you're listening to this and you think, gosh, I wish my mom could hear this, or I wish my brother, or I got this guy at work, please, you can help this show out with no money. Just by subscribing to the show, leaving 5-star reviews. It helps kick the show up into the internet's algorithms, however that works, and it puts the show in front of more people. You can also send episodes that mean a lot to you or that would mean a lot to one of your friends or family members. You can send it directly to them. Thank you so much for sharing the word on The Ramsey Show.
Absolutely. We'll be back. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. Taking your calls this hour. I'm Rachel Cruz with Dr. John Deloney. Next up, we have Brenda in Battle Creek. Hey, Brenda, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Well, I recently sold a house, and I have equity from that house. What do I do with it? Right now, I have it in a money market. It just sold, so I mean that's why I haven't invested it yet. I have a 401k, I have an IRA, and my financial advisor suggested going to a CD for this money.
Why?
So,
what are you gonna?
I don't know.
Are you gonna use it to buy more property soon?
Well, possibly. I don't know whether I'm going to use the money to maybe buy a fixer-upper and flip it. That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities that could happen with this money. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the biggest bang for the buck in the shortest amount of time.
I wouldn't lose a second of sleep over that.
Okay.
Rachel and I were just talking about this off air. Also, put a price on peace and a price on your time. Like you got it in a money market, just let it sit there.
What else do you have, Brenda? Do you have any debt?
No.
No. And where are you living now?
Actually, I have a house that is completely paid for, so everything's paid off.
Amazing. And you have good cash in the bank?
Well, that's from the sale of the house, but yes.
Is that the only cash you have? Is this 140?
As cash, yes.
Okay. So if I were you, Brenda, I mean, I would put some of the savings away. Are you single, married, kids?
I'm single.
Single, okay. So if I were you, I would get 6 months of your expenses, price that out, take some of that from this 140, put aside, I would just keep that in a money market account. And then this 140, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of like, okay, you're at baby step 7 is what we would say when you look, because you have no mortgage, you got nothing, right? So you are just sitting on, just for fun, we'll say $100,000 for easy math. So there's 3 things you can do with money. You can give it, you can save it, and you can enjoy it. And, at this point, Brenda, I would encourage you to do all 3. I would give some of this, and find someone, something, a ministry, a church, or even just a nonprofit, something that you love.
A friend's kid is going to college, just get some mystery check,
Find some way to be generous with some of it. I would enjoy some of it. I don't know if you need to upgrade a car, if you want to go on a great trip or something.
And that's the thing too. I have been saving my entire life, so I can't even hardly afford to let go of $10.
Oh, Brenda, I'm about to send you on a vacation.
Brenda.
Brenda.
I don't spend money at all.
Brenda, how old are you?
To enjoy some of it.
I'm 51.
That's not that old. I thought you were about to say 111. You're 51.
Well, it feels like it some days.
You're halfway home. You are halfway done.
Oh my gosh.
You are halfway done.
But yeah, I am working full time still. I'm trying to start 2 businesses. I just need some direction and how to get my businesses going so I can enjoy the rest of what I have without worrying about maybe spending $10 for lunch.
Brenda, you are chasing peace as an external metric. You're never going to find it out there.
Right.
You're not. And if you get these businesses stable, you'll enjoy that for about 11 and a half minutes.
Gotcha.
And then you will either have to deal with Murphy's Law, something will spin off behind you and you have to go solve it, or you will just knock something over to have something to go fix, because that's who Brenda is. You're going to buy a house that's a piece of trash and
fix it up.
Because that's
exactly.
Because I got nothing else going on in my life, right?
Right.
I
like to stay busy. I like to stay busy, and I like to have my hands in stuff all the time. And I like to make money.
I like great. All those things. And if we're not careful, being busy is our drink of choice.
Exactly.
We become alcoholics, except we're addicted to busyness, or we're addicted to the next deal, then the next deal, then the next deal. And then that deal doesn't get us our hit anymore, so we got to go get 2 deals. And then we start getting real itchy. And so I want you to make yourself go on a vacation. I want you to make yourself give some money away to somebody. I want you just to bless the abs, just shower somebody with giving. Okay?
Right.
And make yourself do it and just sit in it. Okay, just sit in it. And if you hate it, then you never have to go on a vacation again. Just give it a shot. It's pretty awesome.
Okay, but I am kind of looking towards maybe cutting my full-time job now. Am I going to?
How much do you make? How much do you make now with your full-time job?
About $40,000.
$40,000. Okay, and then how much do you make between the 2 businesses that you're spinning up?
Well, I'm just starting them up, so I haven't really made anything yet.
Okay, so how would you make money?
It's going to be like a hobby.
Okay, so what kind of work do you want to do then?
Well, it's kind of incorporating a couple different projects, but basically it's going to be helping women that have been traumatized. I actually went through that, and when I was going through that, nobody was there. But since that, all these women that have come to me for advice, I mean, I've been life coaching probably about 10 hours a week now. I mean, not paid, not really anything. I'm just explaining to them how I've been going through this, and it's helping them. And I want to get together with these women and just know that they're not alone.
It's awesome. That's amazing.
And it's so empowering and so uplifting now because of where I was to where I am. And I can see, I dug myself out of that hole, and I want to help other women to know that, because when I was in that hole, I didn't see the light.
Well, I hear the passion in your voice. And not to make this sound transactional, I had to ask this question, but for life coaching, is that something you think career-wise that you may start making a living off of? Like, hey, I can start counseling people or helping them or mentoring them, but it's going to be quitting your full-time job to do that?
Not really.
Okay, it's just more of a gift of your heart that you just love to do.
It is.
Okay,
because I don't feel like I should get paid for that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just don't feel like I should get paid.
And you don't have to. I just want to make sure that
just to know.
I just don't want you to quit
you gotta
your
make money.
full-time job because you need to eat. You need to have an income coming in, even though you have a great, $100,000 left over after your emergency fund, which is awesome. And you could live off that for a few, if you want to take a break and be like, Brenda's going to chill for 60 days, go chill. That's great. I think you are, you can, but I'm saying mathematically you can with your money because you have no payments. Right. And you have $100,000 in the bank. So if you wanted to, you that's an option for you, which is amazing. But also, I don't want you to quit your full-time job without at least an idea of kind of where I want to go, because it doesn't sound like the two businesses that you're starting up are paying anything. You said they're basically hobbies, and then you have this mentorship thing on the side that's your heart and your passion, which you just love to do, which is great. So yeah, I would start to kind of narrow down, Brenda.
Here's what I recommend you do. Nothing. This purchase, for somebody with your background, this is a culmination of a season, and I want you to just sit for 6 months and just leave the money where it's at. Like Rachel said, I would pull that money out for your emergency fund, pull it into an account where it goes, but just sit and let the smoke clear on this and continue living your life. Don't quit your job yet, but give yourself about 6 months to let the smoke clear and say, okay, what's my next move? And you're going to have a lot clearer head in a few months.
It's great, Brenda. Thanks for calling.
You're awesome.
This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from Matthew 7:12. So then in everything, treat others the same way you want them to treat you. For this is the essence of the law and the writing of the prophets. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. Benjamin Franklin. I'm Rachel Cruz with Dr. John Deloney taking your calls this hour. So you'll hear us say all the time that everyone needs a will. And it's true. It's a basic adult responsibility. And there's just no really good excuse not to have one. So you'll always hear me recommend an online will because it's the fastest, it's the most cost-effective way to make sure that your will is taken care of. But also I get a lot of questions asking, okay, is a simple online will right for everyone in my specific situation? What if I need a trust? Or what if I need a mirror will? Or what kind of powers of attorney am I going to need? Lots of questions are in people's minds. So our team actually built a quiz to help you find the right option for you. You'll get a custom results based on basic info, like if you're married or single, where you live, even the size of your estate. So you'll know exactly what you need to do in your specific situation. So to take the quiz and find out what kind of will you need to protect your family, visit RamseySolutions.com/wills quiz to check it out for yourself. All right, we're going to John in Tacoma, Washington. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
We're doing great. How can we help?
So my question is, my fiance and I are getting married in November, and
congratulations.
I'm trying to figure out, thank you, trying to figure out how do we budget for the month of November, because we're getting married on the 11th. So how do we budget for like the first 10 days and then the rest? Like, do we do a separate budgets, or do we just do one budget for us together, because we won't be married till the 11th?
John, I so appreciate your question. I really appreciate it.
I was going to say something mean. Have you met her?
What?
Rachel?
No. Your fiance. Y'all have talked, right?
What are you saying?
If you and I were hanging out, I'd be making some jokes, but I don't know you that well.
Oh my gosh, John, you know what? I would start.
You're a lovely guy.
I would start it in December.
And I would say start it November 1.
Okay.
So there you go.
Ooh.
There you go.
Oh.
Interesting.
He's like, I don't know. We give terrible advice the last time at the show, John.
What's the holdup,
John,
man?
I so appreciate that, but you're so diligent. Is she as like nerdy when it comes to the budget as you are? Does she care?
No, I am
Yeah, I
definitely the nerd.
I figured so.
Clearly. Hey, she is lucky to have married you.
I know.
I bet she's throwing a
'Cause we
disco
have-
at your wedding. Look, I think
no, that's gonna be me.
I think it's a conversation, and like I say, I would sit down in November and say, hey, you're both going to get paid at the beginning of November or the end of October, and say, here's what our budget's going to look like, and we can move forward this way. Or you both take your budgets and you carry them in, and you go get married, and then you have your honeymoon, and then you come back at the end of November and you settle in for
Have
December 1.
Thanksgiving, all that. December 1, first budget. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, so you're saying you got about
But I'm the free
15
spirit.
days to just kind of run it up?
Be crazy for 15 days. For 15 days.
You got 2 weeks, John. Put the nerd wand down and just go for it.
Okay, because we have the account together already, just for the wedding stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like, because I've heard Rachel talk about it in the past, where you have like our account together is just for wedding, and when you get married,
Sure,
it's
throw everything in
your
there. Yeah.
first account together.
Yep.
So we'll have an account together.
Yeah,
So-
that's great. Yeah, then put all the money in. I mean, you could even do that in November. I mean, you're 10 days out. Like, It's like when you say I do, you combine your finances immediately. I mean, like, yes, like we don't want people doing that when they're dating or when they're engaged and they have 9 more months of planning their wedding. But you guys are 11 days out.
At some point, you got to
point.
sign a lease and stuff.
Yeah. So you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. I would just take a few deep breaths, John, and
Here's
I think
the important
it's going
thing.
to be great.
Y'all talk about it together, and the worst thing you can do on the eve of your wedding is to go and say, hey, I called a couple of knuckleheads on the radio, and here's what we're going to do. That's not a way to start a marriage. I would go to her and say, what do you think the best way to do this is? I'm thinking we settle it up for December. And
I don't think she's going to care.
I 100% know she's not going to care. Not even a little bit. She's going to go, John, I love you. And
That's great, John.
Cool.
November 1, I love you. December 1, I love you.
Yes.
It's great.
January 15th, I love you even more. But here's the key. You'll do it together.
Yes.
Do it together.
Decide it together, and you're great. Thanks, John. I appreciate
You're a good
your
human being,
diligence.
man.
I really appreciate your diligence. So great. Okay. Up next, we got Drew in
Not sure.
New Hampshire.
Reading's hard. What's up, Drew?
Hi, thanks so much for taking my call. What I'd like to do is just give you my vitals real quick, and then I'll ask my question.
Cool.
I'm currently about $192,000 in debt. I get paid about $152,000 a year. 104 of that is for my salary, and 48,000 is about my military retirement. I'm currently upside down on 2 cars, collectively at about $10,000. I'm currently enrolled in Ramsey Plus. I'm on baby step 2, and I'm side hustling as a door dasher. So my question is this: should I focus on paying down those 2 upside down cars and then get rid of them, or should I go with the traditional smallest to largest debt?
How much are you upside down? Did you say 10,000 on each?
No, 10,000 collectively. So about
Collectively,
5,000.
okay. Between both of them.
What's the total loans on them?
Oh, it's outrageous. They're 38,000 and 48,000, something like that.
Okay, I would honestly, Drew, I would get rid of both of them.
Yep.
Take a loan for the difference, just so you're not paying those payments every month. I mean, that's just a lot. So
You're knocking out $80,000 of debt and dropping it to $15,000. That's a huge advancement.
Yep. So I would sell
the
both.
problem is I can't take a loan. I tried doing the loan because basically I went online to see what Dave had to say about it. He said take out a loan, but unfortunately my credit score is so terrible right now that I couldn't take out a loan. I would have to do it. I would have to literally do minimums on all the other debts and focus on one vehicle at a time. And that's what I was wondering. I guess I got my answer right. It's just focus on getting rid of those 2 cars.
Keeping them at the 38 and the 48, like if you just keep them as is.
No. What I'm saying is like, because I can't take out a loan. What I was thinking is pausing, just paying the minimum on the other debts, and then.
Have you gone to a local credit union, Drew?
I have not. It's everything online.
Yeah, go to a local credit union and look somebody in the eye.
Yeah, I would go in person somewhere. I mean, and go multiple places. If you get one no that they won't, give you this loan for the difference, go to somewhere else. And usually credit unions, local banks, state banks will be better than like a Bank of America or something, a national bank.
Especially somebody with a guaranteed pension coming in. You've got a check coming in every month.
Yeah.
And when you go to an online bank, you're an algorithm. You fall into a ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Here's the output. When you go shake somebody's hand at a credit union in your local community, sometimes it's different.
It is different.
It may not be, but Rachel, the broader question, let's say no one will help him out. This is such a massive part of his debt. Does he pause everything, save up $10,000, go in and sell these things and they're upside down, or do you just roll them into the baby steps?
I would probably, save up the $10,000.
I think the amount of money he's spending every month on payments would
outweigh it.
Accelerate.
At that point. Yeah. But I wouldn't say, I'm going to go try to pay off the $38,000 loan.
No.
We're not
just
saying that. It's just to get rid of them.
Cover
just
the gap.
Exactly. Yeah. But thanks for the call, Drew. I appreciate it.
Yikes.
It is fascinating to me always hearing people. And thank you, Drew, too, for your service. Who have kind of like really gone in with this stuff, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna change this, and you hear it in their voice. I mean, I just heard it even in Drew's voice. So, if you're out there, just as a word of encouragement, and you've not started this process, and you're thinking, golly, we're living paycheck to paycheck. This is how life is. Just know, like, this show is a testimony to the fact that it doesn't have to be that way. What the world says is so normal and how it's always going to be, that does not have to be your story. And you hear people like Drew and so many others throughout this 3 hours today that, man, they're making radical decisions with their life and they're actually getting control of their life. Sure. So it's a beautiful thing. John, always fun to host with you. And thank you, America, for listening. Thanks to everyone in the booth. We got James, Ben, Zach, Andrew, Austin, Jenna. And thank you, America. We'll be back.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.